Hey nerds, welcome back to another chaotic cooking review. And this is gonna be a special one, to me at least. Not only is this my most anticipated cookbook release ever, I also had the honor to test some of the recipes before it even got out. And it's amazing. Obviously, we're talking about Vietnamese Vegetarian by Uyen Luu. As I said, I had the honor to test out these recipes beforehand. However, that is not, I did that because I think it's an honor. I have not been paid to do that, and it also doesn't influence my opinion. You're still getting my full, honest opinion of this book. But I can tell you already, it doesn't disappoint, in case you're wondering. I love it. This is a vegetarian cookbook, and it always gives us the question, but is it vegan? Because I know a lot of you are vegan, and I am glad to say, except for one recipe, because we talked about this in the Facebook page, except for one recipe where we could not find a vegan version of, the rest of the recipes are vegan or easily made vegan by, not by me, because I learn new things. Apparently there is vegan puff pastry. So you can make the puff pastry puffs we're talking about later. And in some baking recipes, they're used eggs, but I know vegans can interchange those, and it depends on the recipe what they use. I know sometimes avocado is used. So if you are a vegan eater, I think you know how to change those recipes. And probably everything else is already vegan. She normally uses fish sauce. She already gives you a recipe to make vegan fish sauce at home. So that's amazing. This is a very vegan friendly book. I just wanted to put it out here because I know that is important to a lot of you. It is totally vegan friendly. There is one recipe, and it's the noodle, eggs and tomato soup, which we're going to talk about later. We don't know how to interchange those. The scrambled eggs with tomato, you can interchange the eggs with tofu, but we don't know how to do the soup. So if you're vegan and you know how to do that, please leave it down below. Then every recipe in this book can be vegan. Because I had the honor to test the recipes beforehand, we're gonna talk about a lot more recipes than normally. Normally I try to do at least 5 recipes in a book because I think that will give you a good taste of the book. I try to do recipes from different sections of the book, not just one chapter with meat, because how diverse you get, how more you get to know the book, right? Well, it's not 5 recipes we're doing today. It's around 15. So grab a cup to drink, grab a snack, because you're gonna get hungry. Let's just flip through this book, see what I've made. I'll put a picture in the screen or a video if I've done that. And we'll talk about the recipe. And I'm so excited. I'm really curious. Obviously, after testing, I don't know if there's a lot of change, but I think she changed stuff. And that's very exciting to see for me. I don't know. I might be a nerd, but it's just what it is. First up, I tried the tapioca dumplings with sweet lime. This was one of the tester recipes I've done, and so far I hadn't had the time to do them again. But they're really delicious, and I would like to try them again, because when we tested this, the dough is a bit hard to work with. And it was very frustrating for Uyen because everybody had different results. And she tried different doughs, but that didn't seem to have any influence on the results, really. I have seen she changed the dough. And there is now a note, you have to be very quick. And I think that will help. And I was very slow because it was the first time I made my dumplings myself. And I was also really proud of them. But the taste, that's the reason why they don't look that good. But the taste is really, really good. I am eager to try them again. So yes, I would definitely make this again. If I have to rate this recipe, I think it was 4-star, above average. But not quite I eat rather at home than in a restaurant flavor that she does deliver quite often. Then we got to the vegetable curry puffs. This is one of the recipes I thought could not be made vegan, but it can, because you have puff pastry that is vegan. I have tried this recipe when the book was out, and it's really good. It's a very interesting flavor because I'm used to the kind of chicken filling, right? Where there's not as much. This is very, very flavorful. And the chickens are not that much flavor. This packs a punch. This is a vegetable curry in it, and it gives so much flavor to it. With the crunch of the puff pastry, I really, really enjoy these. They're very easy to make. So yeah, another 4-star recipe for me. And then if you flip the page, we got the tofu nuts chicken wings. These are amazing. These are amazing. I've never had the tofu nuts. I ordered them especially for this recipe. This is one I tried after the book came out. This is the one I got this card from. Please note, the caramel sauce goes very quickly. You have to pay attention. And it gets very, very hot. Don't put your finger in and then put it on your cheek, because that's how I got it. It's still healing. It will be all right, but it looked very, very bad. However, the tofu nuts were so worth it. It's delicious. They have a caramel sauce, which I love. I absolutely love. And they're crunchy. They're just so good. This was a 5-star. I'd rather make this at home than going to eat outside. I love this. You should make them. And then we have the rice paper pizza. This is one I have tried as a tested recipe, and I did it wrong. That's why it looks like this. I did not get the instructions. I did it wrong. I didn't like the crispiness really of the rice paper. I think that is staying. Mine was a bit burned too, but again, I did it wrong. I didn't get the instructions. Uyen probably changed the instructions to make it easier. I think she did. I haven't tried the recipe after, because I wanted to try so many. I didn't really like this recipe, but that's probably because I did it wrong. But I also did not like the crispiness of the rice paper, and that's there to stay. That's the purpose. So I think if I did it right, it would be a 3-star. I would not make this again. I am going to make it again because I want to know if it's easier now, if I get it. But otherwise, I would not make it again. Not because the flavors are wrong. The texture is just not for me. And then we have the sweet and sour cauliflower. This is one of my 2 favorite recipes of this book. It's a 5-star. I'd rather read this every single day than go out again in my life. It's that good. I have tested this recipe and Ian really wanted that crunch in the cauliflower, and it was a bit hard, so it gave some up. We just talked about how we could achieve that, and she probably talked about that with a lot of other people. And then this was the recipe I just had to make again when I got the book. This is one of my favorites. I loved it so much. I had to remake it. I did. And the crunch, because he changed it, the crunch is so good. They're so crunchy now. It even holds up in the sauce. This is basically chicken tonight, but way better. And without chicken. This is totally vegan. I am a meat eater and I did not miss the meat in this recipe. If you're only gonna try 2 recipes, this has to be one of them. If you can only do one, you can choose between this and another one. This is a really good one though. This is a really good one. I do this one. As I said, the cauliflower is really crunchy. The sauce is sweet, but it is not overly sweet. There is a bit of a sourness to it. It's very well balanced. There's a lot of vegetables in it. It's just good. She says you should eat it with rice. I don't. I'm not gonna fill up on rice when I have this. I just eat this because I love it so much. For the next recipe we tried is the eggs and tomato scramble. This is another one I tried after the book release. I really liked it. It isn't special. It's just good. Not above average. Not better than in a restaurant, but it is still good. So 3 stars. I liked it. The egg is really soft. And that was quite new for me, so I really enjoyed it. I'm trying to go through the recipes really quick because there's a lot of them. We also have the sweet and sour vegetable stir fry. This was delicious. I liked it. The flavors are very well balanced. I really like sweet and sour. It isn't too spicy for me. I like the freshness of the cucumber in it. It was just good. You should try it. And then we have the watermelon and strawberry salad with chili salt. And this is, I don't like watermelon. But it's an Uyen Luu recipe, so I wanted to try it. And flavors change every 7 years, so I hadn't had watermelon in a long time, so I really wanted to try. It turns out I still don't like watermelon, so keep that in mind. However, this recipe was good. Again, nothing special. It was just a good salad. I like the strawberries in it. I like that the spice and the sauce does add to the strawberries. I personally wouldn't make this again because there are too many recipes in this book that I like better, so I'm gonna make those. And even now, I've already enough, 15 or so recipes to talk about. When I get through this book, I'm like, oh, I really need to try that one. I really need to try that one. And it's so good. I found another one. Cavallo Nero noodles. I didn't use Cavallo Nero because that is not available in the supermarkets here. I have to grow that in my garden and I don't. So I use chard because that I do have a lot of in my garden. And this was delicious. I love it so much. It was so good. I don't know to give it a 4 or a 5. It's definitely above average. Would I read this rather than in a restaurant? Yeah. It's kind of the same as eating in a restaurant though. So, 4.5? I don't know. It's really good. It's a very fast dish as well. It's so easy to make, and I don't know, it just did it for me. You have the crunch of the almonds. Flavor was so balanced, but it packs so much flavor. This is why it is so good to me. Then we have the courgette spaghetti with miso and nori. I liked the flavor. Again, the texture-wise, it was wrong for me. My brain could not handle this. When I have pasta, it needs to be Italian flavored. My brain could not handle the Vietnamese flavors with the pasta. So I was like, yeah, I do like the flavors. I might just make the courgette noodles on its own as a vegetable, and then you said, yeah, or you just do it, with noodles. And I was like, yeah, that would actually fix it for my brain. So I will be making this again, but instead of the pasta, I will be using noodles. Just because my brain can handle that. But otherwise, it was really good. I really enjoyed this recipe. It's very simple, but it packs with a lot of flavor. And I know I've said that before, but I actually think that is the summary of Uyen Luu's cooking. It's very easy, but it packs a whole lot of flavor. And that's just what she does. Then I tested the recipe beforehand of the king oyster mushroom and turmeric rice, which is interesting because I don't like mushrooms. It makes me eat all the stuff I don't eat normally. The mushrooms were okay. I could eat them. I normally hate mushrooms. So the fact that I like them is really, really saying something. However, we need to talk about this rice. The rice is, for me, definitely the star of the dish. It was so good. I absolutely loved it. I don't know how she did it. I would definitely recommend this. I am going to make my rice like this all the time because it was delicious. She makes it with broth and turmeric. The rice alone packs flavor, but it's so soft. It was just really good. We also did a lemongrass vegetable and pasta stew. This is again with pasta, which my brain could just handle. I like this recipe. I didn't mind the pasta in this one that much. However, I throw in the lemongrass stalks mashed. You have to mash them. You have to finely chop them. And now I have all these stalks in there, which I didn't like. I think I would bash them next time, put them in, and then get them out as whole, because they already delivered the flavor. Because I don't like the stem. Now I couldn't get them out properly because they were chopped. Other than that, I really enjoyed this. I like the flavors. It was curry-esque. I like it. It has a lot of vegetables in it. And this is easy. You can even reheat this, which normally is a bit harder with pasta, but this one did it fine. And then we're at the chapter for soups. The first soup I tried was the egg and tomato noodle soup. I tried this before the book came out, and this was just good. I think it's 3 stars. Good recipe. I like it. But to me, it wasn't that special. I wrote lovely on the card in it. And that's it. It's lovely. But there are recipes in this book that I like way better. As is the next soup I tried. This is the quick mushroom noodle soup. I hate mushroom soup. I don't eat mushroom soup. I dislike the texture of it. I dislike the flavor of it. Everything about mushroom soup, I dislike. And Ian sent me an email, Denise, I really need this to be tested quickly. Do you have time by any means? It would be very helpful. And I was just considering what I would eat that night, and I saw it would only take me 20 minutes. I was like, yeah, I'll do it now. I was just deciding what to eat anyway. I'll make it for you. am I glad I did. Because this is a 5-star recipe. This is the my second favorite recipe of the book. I could not choose between the sweet and sour cauliflower and this one. I love it. This is the recipe I missed the most when, I waited for the book to come out. Obviously, I could make the tester again and again, but I just really wanted the book for this recipe. It's so good. And I don't like mushroom soup at all. I am not eating other mushroom soups except this one. This is the only one I eat, and I love this one. It only takes you 20 minutes from starting to make this to eating it. The amount of flavor that's in this soup is I don't know how she can put it in 20 minutes. Normally soup has to, boil, not really boiling, but against boil, and has to simmer for hours on hours on hours. She made a soup in 20 minutes, and it's one of my favorites. It didn't throw off the faux bone, but it's close. And that's somebody say, and that's for somebody who hates mushroom soup, basically. It's annoying. It's made with dried mushrooms, and you keep the water you soak them in as part of the bouillon, and I think that's where the flavor is coming from. It's with ramen, it's with an egg, it's so easy, so good. I'd rather eat this at home than go to a restaurant. If you only try 2 recipes, make it this one, the sweet and sour cauliflower, because it's amazing. I hate mushroom soup. My friend saw me post this. I love this. And she's, since when do you eat mushroom soup? Yeah, I don't. I still don't. Except this one. This is my favorite one. My favorite recipe of the book with the cauliflower one. And then last is the coriander pesto. This is heavily on coriander. I like coriander, but if you don't like coriander, you're not gonna love this one. Just so we're clear. I like it. And honestly, the amount of coriander that's in it, I am very happily surprised that it's not overwhelming. It's a very balanced recipe. However, my brain again had a hard time with Vietnamese flavor on pasta. So I think I'm gonna make this one again with noodles too, because I did love the coriander pesto. And I'm pretty sure that were all the recipes from Vietnamese Vegetarian. I think this book is definitely worth his purchase. Almost all recipes are vegan. There is a lot of flavor in these recipes, but they're also very easily made. The most recipes in this book you can make in half an hour. And I think that's a normal after work cooking time. It's still doable after work. I think if the recipes are like that, you actually use the book. If you have to take 2 hours for every recipe, you're not going to use it. This is very usable. And I bet you there are gonna be your favorites in it. I know they are for me, and I am not a vegetarian person. I miss my meat quite easily, to be honest. I have a very hard time to eat vegetarian. This book made me eat vegetarian so many times now. I am eating vegetarian once a week now because of this book. At least once a week. And I've been struggling to eat vegetarian once a week in like 5 years now. I want to do that for 5 years. And I couldn't because I miss my meat that easily. However, not with this. And that's very special to me. So, a huge thank you to Uyen Luu for letting me test these recipes. I just want to enforce you again that I did buy this book myself because I really wanted to. Even when she put my name in the back. And I think that's the cutest thing I've ever seen. It made me cry in a shoe store nonetheless, because I bought this book and I couldn't wait with looking into it. And I was just reading the foreword and the backwards while my husband was fitting his shoes, and I was bored and I couldn't wait. And then I saw my name in this book. And, you know, it made me cry. It's insane. I can't wait to go to Uyen Luu's course in September in London. I am so excited for it. So, you know, if you want to get excited about Vietnamese food and you're a vegetarian, buy this book.